There you go. What's up, guys? Lee from Southern Paranormal tonight. We got a special guest here at the Paranormal Den, Mrs. Ann Z. And tell us about your YouTube channel. Give us the name of it. Let everybody know.
Okay. The name of my YouTube channel is Interdimensional Warrior, and I just started doing it back on December 31st, New Year's Eve. First video is with the Annabelle doll, and my friends kind of pushed me into doing this channel, so just winging it right now and trying to figure things out and let everybody know. I'm just trying to catch evidence, paranormal, aliens, whatever I can show to you guys. So this has been going on my whole life, and I'm just here to try and show to the world, that kind of stuff.
So go check it out. Like, subscribe, share. Tell us a little bit of what goes on here in your home.
Well, it's kind of a loaded question because it's been going on my whole life. Every house that I move to, there's activity, and since I've been young, things have been going on my whole life. I didn't know. I thought I was living in haunted houses, and it took me a lifetime to figure out that it wasn't the houses that were haunted. It was me that I thought was haunted, but I'm not really haunted. It's just I have the special ability to see, hear, feel, smell, touch, paranormal, and now, for the past few years, I figured out also aliens I can communicate with, so.
Okay. Now, when you say you can communicate with aliens, dig into that a little deeper, and tell us, what do you mean by communicating? Do you actually see them, or is it more?
I have seen my first alien, which was a gray, in my bathroom a couple months ago. I had an experience. I was doing a gifting stump to Bigfoot, and I went into the bathtub, and in order to communicate with Sasquatch or Bigfoot, I had to get into the zone. So I went and took a bath, sea salt bath with essential oils, and I put myself into the zone. And when I opened my eyes, I saw these light gray orbs all around me going up. And I said, okay. So I got out of the tub, and I looked to my right, and in the corner of the bathroom was about a 5-foot gray standing there. And I looked at him, and he looked at me, and I said, hey, what's going on? And everything's okay. And he disappeared. And that was the first time I've ever seen a real live alien. Yeah, but I've been communicating with them before that.
And when you say communicate, you mean like by looking in the sky, or?
Well, it all started. My first spacecraft that I saw, and the only one that I've seen, was back in the early '90s. Me and a friend were at a lake, and we were just sitting there. It was nighttime, and we both saw, the round spaceship that was just hovering over the lake. And she looked at me, and I looked at her, and we couldn't believe it. And then it just took off. And then back in 2014, I went to Washington State with my family. My son was going to go to college over there for the first time. And on the last night we were going to leave, the last day we were going to leave, we checked out this house because we were thinking of moving there. And the house was very strange. Nothing made sense in the house. We went into this bedroom, master bedroom, and there was literally these stairs that went up into, like, what was a curtain all around the stairs. So I walked over, I opened the curtain, and there was a toilet bowl on the top of the platform of these stairs. So I said, that's weird. So we went into the closet. There was these dirty mattresses in there. Like, nothing made sense. Me and my family just got these really weird vibes from the house. We were walking all around, and when we went into the basement, there was these black stains on the carpet on the stairway going down. And when me and my daughter hit the basement, we just got the chills, and we felt something was definitely off. we all left, and we started to have a conversation in the car about how we all, my ex-husband, my daughter, they actually were experiencing and seeing things moving in the house, and I was feeling them, like something was definitely there. So we talked about that on the way home, and then that night, me and my daughter were in one hotel room, and my son and the ex-husband were in another hotel room, and I closed my eyes, and there was a little bit of light we had in the bathroom for a night light, and my daughter and me were talking about the house. And she said, Mom, you know, that house really gave me the creeps. And I said, don't worry about it. Just close your eyes and go to sleep. And I gave her a hug. And I turned the other way. She was facing the wall towards the windows of the hotel room. And I was facing the other way. And I went to close my eyes. And as I closed my eyes, I started seeing what looked like a video camera panning into all the rooms of the house. It was showing me the house, all the different rooms. And none of the rooms had doors, which I thought was very strange, this whole house. There was no doors in any of the rooms. So it's panning through and showing me all these rooms, and I said, you know, that's really strange. Why are you doing this? Why are you showing me this house? I don't want to see this house. So I told it to stop. I closed my eyes, and it went away. And as I closed my eyes, I felt something very strongly behind me. And usually when I get that feeling, you know, there's something there, or you think there's something there, and then there's nothing there, but you can feel it. So I turned around, and I looked up. My eyes panned right to where it was, and it was above the curtain, and it was very dark over there. And it was a winged creature. It was darker than the dark, which I didn't know until I got back to New York. I found out that it was called a shadow creature. I didn't know that term until then. And it had this silhouette. You could see the wings, and it was very, very translucent, like almost like a light purplish blue color, so you could see the wings flapping, and it was looking right at me. So it gave me a little, you know, made me feel a little uncomfortable, but I've been dealing with this stuff for many years, so I just closed my eyes and I hugged my daughter, and I said, just go away, and that was it. And I woke up in the morning and we went back to New York. And then I started to have more experiences immediately as soon as I went back to New York, 3 days later.
So you hadn't, you think it was all related to the house?
Well, it was related to what was in that house that followed us home. And I didn't know at the time what that was, or even that it had followed us home, until I got back to the house in New York. And 3 days later, I was doing dishes, and my ex-husband went to pick up my daughter at school. And it's the middle of the day, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and I'm doing dishes, and I turned my head. I felt something behind me, and I see a shadow running across the hallway going into the living room. So it definitely caught my eye, and I turned the water off, and I went down the hallway, and of course I always go, you know, who's there? Which kind of sounds like one of the bad 80s horror movies, you know?
Right.
And I'm like, why am I saying that? But of course, you know, here I go, and I went into the living room, and I checked, you know, to see where it was going, and of course there wasn't anything there, but it felt very quiet, and you could just feel that there was something in the air, there was something there. And I said, okay. I went back to doing dishes, and not even like a minute later, I felt something right on my right shoulder, right behind me. And I said, oh man, I gotta turn around again. So I turned around, and I look, and there's nothing there, of course, you know, but I felt it. I called up the husband, and I said, you got to get here right away. There's something, I think it followed us from Washington, and it's here in the house. Don't know what it is, but there's something here. So he came home, and I don't know, a series of events started happening. 3 days later, I was in my room. The windows were closed. No fans are on. My daughter we used to sleep in the same room. My daughter had this wind chime hanging from one of our bookshelves, and I was about to go to sleep, and all of a sudden you could hear the wind chimes just started to go off in the room, and I said, you know, why are they going off? So I said, here we go, and I start to look, and I see this shadow creature standing behind my door, darker than the dark. Like, I looked it up, shadow people, shadow creatures, and I said, there it is. It's looking right at me. And I was getting the chills. So, once again, I closed my eyes and I just said, go away, and just be gone. And that was it. About a week later, I was in the shower and I'm soaping up my face. All of a sudden, I feel something right behind the shower curtain. I said, oh, here we go again. So I'm trying to get the soap out of my eyes, and I was frantic because I felt it coming on me. It was really coming towards me. So I have the soap in my eyes, and I open the shower curtain, and I look behind me, and of course there's nothing there, right? So I'm feeling it, though, and I continue to try and get the soap out of my eyes, and I'm washing up. And all of a sudden, I don't know what it's called, that thing that spins around back in the early days, and it shows the pictures of like the horse going up and down like a cartoon, but it spins. I don't know what the name of that thing is. I know what you're talking about, though, yeah. I want to say pictogram, but it's not a pictogram. There's a name for it. And it starts circulating, and there's all crop circles circulating in my head, like hundreds of them, just pictures of crop circles all going through my head. And I'm like, why is this thing showing me crop circles? So all of a sudden I hear a voice, and it says, look for the signs, they're everywhere. It kept saying, look for the signs, they're everywhere. It told me. And that was it. And then everything just stopped. And I said, oh my God, this is alien. This is what came to my house is aliens, And that was the beginning of...
And how long ago was that?
That was 2014.
14.
Mm-hmm.
And you've pretty much been experiencing them ever since?
Yeah. There's a lot of different things that have been going on from that house, and it's carried down into South Carolina.
Now, you were saying one time that about being abducted.
Yeah. So... a lot of other things were going on in that house, paranormal as well, in New York, which I'm not going to get into right now, but we'll just fast forward to South Carolina. So we bought this house we moved in December of 2018, and what happened was I contacted somebody on a radio show that was being interviewed, a friend of mine, and... who had a radio show, and he was interviewing somebody from Long Island, which is where I had lived, and he was an alien experiencer, and I said, wow, I need to speak to that guy. So at the end of the show, I contacted him, and we were talking within 20 minutes. And me and this guy talked nonstop for 3 days straight. I mean, we were talking about our experiences, his experiences, and by day number, I think, 5, I'm just trying to think of the first experience I had. Okay. So I was laying down in my bed, and this is when I have a lot of experiences, not just alien, but paranormal experiences. Wide awake, not even falling asleep. I'm not in that state where you're in between sleep and being awake, which is the, you know what I'm saying? Right. Okay, so... I'm wide awake, laying in bed maybe 5 minutes, eyes are still open. All of a sudden, my eyes pan up, and I see on the ceiling, there was a pod, and it was about this big, and it was pulsating. It was a very, very light, beige, white color, glowing, pulsating, dark, going back into light, like that. And I'm looking at it, and I said, no way, that can't be there. So I closed my eyes, and I opened them, and I looked, and it was still there, and it was pulsating and glowing, and I said, oh my God, that looks like some kind of like alien pod or something, That's what was going through my mind. So I just closed my eyes, went to sleep, and that was that. About, I don't know, a few days later, I was laying down in bed again, and literally within minutes, I'm wide awake, and I hear this this high-pitched frequency sound, really high-pitched frequency sound. And I said, where the heck is that coming from? It sounded like it was coming from the bedroom door in that corner, towards the bedroom, not towards the windows. So I stood up, and I wanted to know where the noise was coming from. Maybe it was something coming from outside. Maybe it was something coming from one of the other rooms. Maybe somebody had on electronic. I had no idea what that was. So I wanted to check it out. I got up. I went out. I went to my bedroom windows, and it was coming from behind me. So I said, okay, it's obviously coming from either, coming from towards my bedroom doors or in the hallway. So I went out into the hallway, and it was behind me. So I knew it was in my room at that point, near the bedroom doors. So I go back into the bedroom, and it starts to get louder into the corner of the bedroom where close to the doors. And it was just stayed steady, this one-tone, high-frequency pitch sound. So I went to lay back down on my bed, and I'm like, please just stop with that noise, like, why is this happening? And in my mind, I'm thinking this has got to be something to do with these aliens that have followed me from, well, I don't know about the ones from New York, but this guy who was abducted, the one I was speaking to, I felt like maybe those were his aliens, because that's how he got abducted, through contact with another family that was getting abducted, and he went down to Texas to hang out with them, and they all got abducted together, him and his friend and their family, and the children were all abducted. So I said, I think I might have this guy's aliens in my house, just from contacting him, which a lot of us experiencers do. When we talk to each other, we have experiences together. So now the high-pitched frequency sound was going on, and as that was going on, all of a sudden you hear voices, and they're always voices, not just one. Several voices were talking with the same high-pitched frequency sound, and I couldn't make out what they were saying, but they were like, talking really fast, and I just closed my eyes, and it went on for about 10 more minutes, and that was it. Woke up the next day, and I told my husband, because he ex-husband snores, he sleeps in the other room. So I asked him, I said, did you hear any weird sounds going on around 11 o'clock at night? And he said, yeah. He said, I heard, I said, did you hear high-pitched frequency sound? He said, yeah. He said, I heard that coming from down the hallway, which is where my bedroom is. And I said, yeah, I told him what had happened, and he confirmed that he heard the noise too. So that kind of confirmed and freaked me a little bit out,
Now, have you heard that since? Same noise?
No, I've never heard that particular noise and haven't had that experience anymore. But I do have what a lot of experiencers get, the ringing in your ears kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And I've been getting that a lot more since October of 2020. It's been really picking up.
I get it like a ringing in the ear, then it get real loud, high-pitched sound. Mm-hmm. I get that a lot too.
You do?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I should have it checked out by a medical doctor, because it could be a medical condition. And I probably will if it continues, but I know a lot of us experiencers, I've talked to others, and they say that they have also, they get it a lot, and it's been getting louder since we've been getting closer to December 21st, which was the winter solstice, the alignment of those two planets, that special event that happened, the Christ star, all that happened on December 21st, 2020. Mm-hmm. Now, we went from 3D into 5D on that day. And ever since we were, from October until December 21st, it just kept getting loud. Like right now, it's ringing in my ears right now, ringing. And it just kept getting louder and louder and louder. And then after that day happened, it's kind of dropped off. But it's definitely something that happens to me on a regular basis.
Are you the only one in the house that hears it?
Yeah. Yeah.
What about far as seeing stuff? You the only one that sees the stuff in the house?
Sees.
Like,
paranormal, alien.
Paranormal, alien.
Well, my daughter, she's had experiences as well. I'm not going to get into all that because that's a whole nother story, but she's had quite a few experiences, and we've had group experiences together. And you know, when you have group experiences together, it gets even more real, interesting, or whatever you want to call it. So, especially when you have non-believers and skeptics, and they're seeing stuff, you know. But anyways, back to the alien thing. So, after that happened, a week later, we made dinner, me and the ex-husband, and it was around 6:30 at night, and all of a sudden I just didn't feel well. I felt very ill, and I was getting dizzy, and I felt nauseous. So he helped me up the stairs to my bedroom, and I went to lay down on the bed, and he was sitting on the chair next to the bed, and I said, you know what, I gotta go throw up. I just felt so dizzy and nauseous. So I ran into the bathroom, and it's funny because the next day my daughter told me, Mom, and I don't remember this, she said, you threw up all over the walls,
Okay.
all over the floors, everywhere. I don't remember any of that part at all. And I came back, I laid on the bed, and I was laying down on my back like this, and I was literally there for maybe 3 minutes, and the ex-husband was sitting next to me, and he said, are you okay? And I was like, no, I'm feeling a little bit better since I threw up, but I need to just lay here. He said that he's never seen me lay that still when I lay down on a bed. He said, you always turn a little bit to get comfortable, move around a little bit. He said, you were completely still. You didn't move. He goes, if I didn't know any better, I think you were dead.
Okay.
And I was just laying there. And then all of a sudden, I felt my body lifting off the bed. And I felt and saw, with my eyes closed, I'm seeing this, 2 hooks coming into my armpits, but the hooks were flat on the end, so they weren't like stabbing me, and they were pulling me up, and I saw, so I have seen more aliens than just the gray one I saw this year. I saw 2 aliens that were standing there above me, and I guess they were manipulating this high-tech looking, these hooks, they're very high-tech looking, and they were pulling me up. And I opened my eyes, physically opened my eyes, and I could see the room. I saw the ex-husband, I saw my bed, I saw the floor, I saw everything around me in the room. And I told him, I said, you need to put me down right now. Just like I tell spirits, demons, other entities, whatever. I'm going to treat them the same way. Put me down. I don't have a problem with you. You don't have a problem with me. And I slowly felt my body come back down into the bed. And as soon as I hit the bed, I opened my eyes. I turned to my husband, well, ex-husband now. And I said to him, did you just see what happened to me? I just lived, the whole thing that happened. And he said, no, you were just laying there perfectly still, like you were dead. And I said, I was just attempted abducted. And his jaw dropped. He couldn't believe it. And that was it. And then a week later, this was like a series of events.
Okay.
One more thing. And then a week later, I was outside on my sun porch. It was nighttime by myself. I'm sitting out there. Tall trees. We had, 7,500 foot trees out there. I'm not really sure how tall these guys are. I'm just looking out at the stars in the sky. And all of a sudden, I see this green ball. It looked like maybe about that big. Start showing up above the trees. Dancing around. Randomly dancing around. And then it would disappear. And then it would dance around. And I said, you know what? It is the summer. Maybe that's a bug of some kind down here I don't know about. Or a firefly. But fireflies are like this big. They're not this big,
Right.
Very weird, I mean, you just know. I just knew it wasn't a bug. So it started to come down into the trees. And it's dancing randomly around, disappearing, showing up over here, showing up over there. It was a very, very light green orb. And it lifted itself up finally and it disappeared. And that was it. So
all you guys watching at home, if you've had experiences that you would like to talk with her about, you can just drop a link in the comment below, comment what you want to talk about. She'll be glad to talk with you. And,
sure.
maybe there's somebody out there that's scared to talk about things that they've seen in this world and in this lifetime. Like I say, just comment down below and she'd be glad to help you.
Now, there is a continuation of the story. I don't know if you ever want to do a part 2 because it goes on after that. That's just the beginning. That was all happened in 2019 that happened. But from 2019 until 2021, I've had more experiences, and it's been an awakening of why they came into my life, why this is happening, and why I've been having so many experiences my whole life. It's not just with the paranormal, it's also with the aliens, and they are a big part of my life, the aliens. And I guess that's maybe another video we could do, because it's been quite, there's just been so many awakenings and what it's become and what it is now and who I am. So I guess we could save that for next time.
Right.
Okay.
Now, what's your best paranormal experience you ever had?
Best paranormal experience. There are so many. Well, I guess I could tell my vampire story. Maybe they'll get a kick out of that one, because that's the only vampire story experience I've ever had. But that one's kind of mind blowing. Back in early 90s, I was living in New York, renting an apartment, and I was laying down in the bed. A lot of things happen when I'm laying down in the bed. I don't know why it happens, So, it's nighttime. I was tired. I just got home from work. Wasn't drinking, not doing any drugs. And I'm laying in my bed. I had a black cat at the time, go figure. And she's laying on the edge of the bed. It was around a full moon because the moon was coming in through the window, so you could see the light kind of silhouetting on the floor and some of the bed. You could see the room a little bit, but pitch black where I was in the dark. So I'm laying there, and it's about 9 o'clock at night. I set my alarm for 7:30 to go to work the next day. And I'm just laying there. My eyes are open. I'm still awake, and it takes me, 15, 20 minutes to get to close my eyes and fall out. So I'm laying there, eyes wide open, and all of a sudden I see this shadow figure appear above my bed, and it was a winged, huge, it must have been at least 7 feet tall. It was 6, 7 feet tall. It was tremendous. And it had like a cloaked look to it, Couldn't make out its face or anything, but it was this cloaked creature. And it felt very much strong energy like a vampire, and I was heavily into vampires at the time myself, so that's a whole nother story. But it just came over me and overpowered me, and I was just frozen in my bed. I couldn't move. What do they call that when you're frozen?
Oh, shoot. I know what you're talking about. I can't call it.
Yeah. Frozen with terror.
Right.
Sheer terror, just laying there frozen. I couldn't move, and that was it. I don't remember anything else until beep, beep, beep. My alarm clock goes off at 7:30. I wake up, and I just feel so drained, and I got from around 9 o'clock till 7. That's a lot of sleep, so I shouldn't be that tired, right? So I go to get out of my bed. I went to climb out of my bed, and as I'm going like this to get out of the bed, I just fell to the floor. I collapsed. And I had no energy. So my neck hurt. I was like holding my neck a little bit. Why does my neck hurt so bad? I had to climb up like this onto the bed, and I was shaking, like trying to get myself to get up. And I finally got myself up, 1 foot at a time, 1 knee at a time, and I stood up, and I'm shaking. I could barely move. And I walked to the bathroom. As I'm walking to the bathroom, my neck was just killing me, and I felt something on my neck, so I didn't know what it was. So I go in the mirror, and I turn and I look in the mirror, and I see 2 holes in my neck with 2 crusts of blood on them. And I knew right then and there that I had been attacked by a vampire. And after that, I was I actually turned myself into a vampire. I was attacking people, and that's a whole nother story. But yeah, I became a vampire. I embraced it, you know. So maybe I was asking for it. Who knows? But you know, that's basically it. Maybe I'm getting a little too deep into the story. But guys, this isn't me anymore. I'm just telling you what has happened to me, past, not me now. But yeah, I do still love vampires. But you know, we respect each other. They stay in their corner, I stay in mine now. So
Any last words you want to?
no, I'm just so happy that we got to sit down and do this, and I love this guy, by the way. Great guy.
But guys, like I say, if you got any questions, feel free to ask in the comments below.
Ask me anything.
And
I've been through a lot.
go to her YouTube channel. She has some videos on there of some haunted dolls. And like I say, always peace, love, and beware demons in disguise. Peace.